Welcome to the Wisdom Lounge.
Welcome to the Wisdom Lounge.
Doing it on purpose. Keep doing it on purpose. Gotta know what you're worth it. Gotta know what you're worth it. Love the song your eyes survive. Walk with purpose in my life. Do it on purpose. Keep doing it on purpose. Gotta know what you're worth it. Gotta know what you're worth it. My life is picture perfect. The pain was worth it. Keep doing it on purpose. You know what you're worth
You shall live and not die. So we are welcome back to Wisdom Lounge. Yes, I'm Angela.
And I'm Dawn.
All right. And as we'd like to take a moment because we know that you all are new to us. We're not new to each other,
No.
but you guys are new to the Wisdom Lounge because this is only our second episode. So I want to take a moment to introduce myself, and then I will pause for the calls and allow Dawn to introduce herself.
Absolutely.
Again, my name is Angela. I am your local real estate agent. If you're in the greater Houston area and surrounding areas, I am your real estate expert, as well as a certified recovery coach, life coach, and Christian counselor. So I am here all things helping people. That's what I do. That's what I love. Dawn, I am going to throw it over to you.
Well, throw it on over to me. Let me catch it. So, I am Dawn Cutler. I am a certified DITS leadership trainer. And I also have some coaching opportunities that are available to me and more to come. But we are excited to have you here with us on this journey. We're going to have a good time.
That's what we
Buckle up
do.
your seat. Get
Buckle
ready
up,
to
buttercup.
and we're going to have fun. So thank you for joining us on the Wisdom Lounge.
Awesome. Well, today's topic, I think it's going to be really, really fun because we're going to be talking about life after the storm.
Yeah.
Rediscovering your purpose.
Come on now.
I love it. I love it. I love it. So today, life after the storm, going back to normal isn't normal. Is there a new normal? What is normal? What does it look like?
Right.
So that's what we're going to be talking about, like whether it's divorce, grief, illness, job, career change, empty nester,
Emptiness, right.
going back to school. There's so many things that can be considered a storm in someone's life. So storm is relative.
Yeah.
Whatever may be a storm for you may not be a storm for me.
Absolutely.
But those changes do come. And what do we do when they happen? When it just stops you in your tracks and all of a sudden now you got to kind of revamp or reframe how all this looks for you.
Right.
And how do you discover your purpose in all of this?
Yeah.
So let's talk about it, Dawn.
Let's talk about it. So, just like you do with a natural storm, right? So, if a natural storm happens, and typically if it's a natural storm, you might kind of hear, the newscasters tell us, but sometimes they miss it. And so, just like you do with the storm, during the storm, you got to ride it out.
Got to ride it
You
out.
got to write it out.
Yeah.
And so you get your gathering of items that you need that will be considered necessities if something happened.
Yeah.
So doing that is in it of itself preparation. So even though storms come, sometimes we're not cognitive of them coming, but we still have to respond.
Yeah.
Either way, you are going to respond. So when you respond, there's a lot of things that you can look at with that. It's an opportunity for you to be the version of you want to be.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
It's an opportunity to self-reflect. And that's key.
Yeah.
Right there is key.
Yeah.
When the storm comes, you have to start planning, thinking, getting some strategy. Oh, what do I need to do? What do I have to do? So those things happen to all of us.
Yeah.
And so it's how we prepare that gets us to our better next. I'll put it
Exactly.
that way, the better next. And so that's one thing for sure to do. Come on, share some of your insights. You know how we do. Popcorn.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, one of the things that I want to go back to the point that you made about preparing for the storm.
Correct.
Because there are some times when, again, using the natural storms that we deal with in life, the weather patterns.
Sure.
There are times when the meteorologists, they get it correct.
Correct.
And then we're preparing for the rainstorm.
Correct.
There are times when they miss it and they say it's going to be sunny outside, and all of a sudden we have a rainstorm.
Correct.
And even those worst storms, when you have a hurricane pattern coming in, there are some people who their plan is to evacuate.
Absolutely.
Let me just get away from this storm. I'm not going to deal with it. I'm not going to face it.
Right.
There are some say we're going to ride this storm out.
Yep.
And then there are some who, back in the day, like I was, we had hurricane parties. By the grace of God, I'm still here.
A hurricane party.
The people telling you, get out of town.
And you having
Get
a party.
out of town.
Party.
Don't stay here for the storm. And we buying all the liquor and everything.
That's your younger days.
Younger day. That was your younger day.
You bold.
We having a whole hurricane
party.
party. And next thing you know, the floods is here. So there are those of you may be in that mindset
Maybe
where I
an
was when I was
adventurer.
young. Yeah. when you don't even prepare for the storm at all.
Right. I'm just saying.
I'm gonna party it all.
When it comes, it comes. I forget what
I'm
movie.
be too drunk to feel it anyway.
Right. It was one movie where somebody, a storm came through. I can't remember what it was, but the guy stood up to the storm and the storm was going past him. I'm like, what the world?
It probably Twister. I want to say that probably Twister.
Probably was Twister.
But that made me think about those moments in our lives when you can sense something that's about to happen, and you could be the person to say, I'm just going to evacuate. I'm not going to deal with it. I know it's here, but just not right now. I'm gonna just leave the presence right now and go somewhere else to kind of regroup.
Right.
Because you know, you
It's
still
real.
Yeah. And then you have those who say, no, I'm just going to hunker down in this storm. I'm going to take care of what I need to take care of. I'm going to face whatever challenges. I'm going to prepare for it. I'm going to do what I have to do to get through this thing. And then there are those who hope there aren't many of you guys who were like I was in that you just doing whatever, you coping, you having fun, you enjoying the ride, but you're not really cognizant of the effects that the storm may have in your life. And that's where I found myself, I'll say in the spiritual storm, as we start talking about how life was.
Right.
Yes, I was cognizant of the things that were happening in my life. That party scene, no, that wasn't me anymore.
Right.
But I knew that, okay, these things are happening. Many of the things that I mentioned earlier was my entire, I was on that checklist. Empty nester, check. Taking care of my mom and grieving who she once was, but now who she is now, check. So I was grieving even before she passed away.
Correct.
So grief, dealing with career change and relocation, check.
Yeah.
Dealing with divorce,
Check.
check. So it's like, here it was, all these stresses at one time. So it was like bam, 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 like everything was piling up on it. And so what does that look like? And then to discover that the storm it wasn't, once I allowed God to not isolate me, but separate me. I'm no longer looking at the storm in a natural way, like it's here to destroy me,
Right.
like it has come to take from me. But now I'm looking at it as I'm getting clarity in
Absolutely.
the storm.
Absolutely.
There's now clarity coming to all of this. I remember even in the midst of me going through all of these things, my mind, and I remember getting up. And when we went to our walking trail yesterday, you got to see some of
Yes,
those pictures
you will.
on one of my favorite walking trails. I went and I just remember meeting God meeting me there, and I will walk and I will pray. And I have a lot of those prayers still in my phone where it would just hit me and God would have me to pray. It didn't start off as a prayer walk. I just needed a moment to think.
Absolutely.
I just needed a moment to like man, I just got to get some of this stress out the way. So I found my clarity there. I remember God gave me a song. I was like, Lord, I remember Apostle Eckhart saying, ask God to give you a new song, not a song that somebody has written, not a song that is composed, but ask God to give you a new song. And I was like, Lord, what is my song? And the next thing you know, he gave me a song and I wrote it and I sent it to my friend. I said, girls, I'm walking. God gave me a new song. So it was the clarity in the storm that I received. And then don't look for your purpose to come out to be like this grand old thing. Like, oh my God, I know what my purpose is. And it is great. It's going to come subtly.
Yeah.
It's going to be quietness. And then there you go. And God will give you a glimpse of it.
Yeah.
And all he wants you to do is to just start being obedient.
That's it.
And then you'll start getting a bigger picture. Because you're not going to have all the detail.
No.
You're not going to have all the
detail. You're going to have
detail.
what you need when you need.
And one more thing I want to point out, what I learned in the storm was, because I remember I used to be guilty of always saying, if you failed at something, I would be guilty of saying that you're starting over. Like if you failed in a test, then you just have to start over. But I never found that anywhere in the Bible. I haven't found it. It might be there. I'm not saying that it's not. But then God had to show me, who told you that you were starting over?
That's it.
You're starting from wisdom.
Right.
You're starting from wisdom. No, I never told you had to go all the way back to anything.
Right. So what comes to my mind when you say that is the race is not given to the swift, but those that endure.
Yeah.
And when you go through a storm, you're going to learn endurance if you want to go through it the right way. And so that's part of the journey. And with you saying that, it just brought up some memories of me. Like, so, God would give me songs, but then I remember one day God was like, tell me who you are. And I'm like, what? He said, what is your name? And I said, Dawn. And he said, look it up. And I looked it up and it means dawn always rises. Always rises,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And I end up getting a tattoo on my back that says, like the dawn, I still rise. Every morning, you're going to get a dawn. So it comes in different ways.
Yes.
But if you stay true to the endurance, the exercise, that's what it is, basically, versus a physical exercise. It's more of a mental you exercise.
Yes, yes.
Right? So let me focus on me in the storm. And those beautiful giftings come out and so many doors open.
Yeah.
And don't beat yourself up. Know that there's purpose and know that you can go through and be even greater on the other side.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
That's the blessing in it.
And one of the things that I would say that God began to make clear to me when we say purpose, it was I didn't realize then, but I because when he began to birth out of me, birthing purpose, empowerment, that was one of the things that I knew that this is where God was purposing me to be. He gave it to me like it was he showed me one day like this is your child, like you're giving birth to this.
Yeah.
Because when I initially had the gathering, like all of this happened. No thought of divorce or anything like that.
Right.
Like I'm fighting for my marriage.
Sure.
But that was one of the moments that God had showed me my purpose. And because I just remember struggling. Like I'm doing everything that I know to do.
What's going on?
Yeah, I know to do these things, so I'm doing it. But then I just heard God one day say, stop. Stop. You're being busy, but you're not purposeful. And then he began to show me. And so I started praying, well, what is my purpose? What am I here for? Like I'm so used to being busy at church. I'm so used to helping out wherever's needed, wherever I put my hands to, Lord, I know that you're blessing me. But then from there, he gave me birth and purpose empowerment. Now, I struggle with that name because I had issues with that name because I was like, why would you give me, like, I was mad with God. I was like, why don't you give me birth and purpose? I'm like, I'm the most, like, birthing, it's not like
I ain't birthing nothing else.
I was like, my kids barely made it through because of me. I'm not domesticated. Like, for me, I just felt like that was for the more natural moms. Like, who just more in tune with their children, they just kumbaya, and they breastfed. I was like, why would you give me birth and purpose? It took me a while. I kept trying to label it all kind of other things.
Just didn't fit.
Women warrior who birthed out. Hey, give me some fighting stuff.
He said he's
But
gonna give you what he gave you.
I mean, I was trying to do all kind of stuff with that birthing thing because I could not get with it. But I also had to reconcile with how I identified, how I saw myself rather than how God saw me.
That's right.
Because then later on, as I was obedient, I finally became obedient to the title, to the name that He gave me for the ministry. But it took me about 4 months.
I can
I was
imagine.
not trying to tell nobody this is what God gave me. I did not like the name. But when I start to identify myself as God saw me as someone who's a nurturer. I may nurture differently, but I'm a nurturer. I may not be domesticated to look like you put me in the kitchen with an apron on, but I know how to let it cook.
You can throw down in the kitchen.
I know how to let my ideas cook. I know how to cook with people. I know how to make sure I am nurturing who God has given me. I know how to hold people and not drop them. And so I had to look at it how he saw me and not how I was identifying myself. And so that's how through all of this, I began to understand my purpose.
Love it.
Through all of this that I had gone through, now I understand, and I proudly say, one of the things He's purposed me to do is birthing purpose empowerment.
Absolutely.
And I am clear on knowing that I am a midwife.
Yes.
I know that God has given me people, and if you around me,
Yeah.
and you say you got purpose, we're gonna push
We're gonna
this
push
thing
the
out.
purpose out. We're gonna push the purpose out because it's in there. And back to something you were saying with the God giving you, the name and all of that. There's a people group for you. So He knew that.
Yeah.
And that's the people. Your people get you. That's the best way to say it. Your people get you.
Yeah.
And so it's there, and it's just so amazing. And when I thought about the reset and restarting or, all of that, I was just like, what? I ain't trying to do this. I'm comfortable because you get comfortable in where you are. Right?
Yes.
So you really have to have, like I call them, I have people in my life that are my personal pushers. And if they see me, they can help me. What you looking like that for? What's going on with you? Right?
Yeah.
And so you are that. That is what you do and birth that out for people.
Exactly.
So, yes, we both have 2 children in the natural, but there are so many other people
Absolutely.
that gravitate us. Like anywhere we go somewhere and we're out, people gravitate to us.
Absolutely. Even yesterday when we went out
To Dairy Queen. That's our
which is
spot.
one of our spots. I love me some Dairy Queen now. And so and there we was sitting at the table talking, and next thing you know, the family next to us gravitated toward us, and right before they got ready to leave, then one lady, she had to circle back because it was like, okay, have a nice day, see you guys later, it was good meeting you, blah blah blah. The lady circled back, and we had an awesome encounter.
Yeah.
She just began to, the entire family had to come back in.
All of them.
Yeah, because everybody else had walked out. Their grandma came back, and there we were in Dairy Queen hugging each other like we knew each other.
Right.
Like it just became like it became tearful actually.
It actually did.
So yeah, and it's every time we go somewhere, even here in the studio.
Same thing.
Every time we come here into the studio, people gravitate to us, and we just so.
And I think that is the newness that we walk in now.
Yeah.
And we own it. Not that we didn't own it before.
Yes.
But
Now
it was
I understand
connected
it
to so many things.
Exactly.
Right? That we understand. Wow. Okay. Thank you, God, for clarifying our purpose. No lie. Everywhere we go. When we took the road trip, when we did all of that.
Yeah.
And you'll hear more about that on our TikTok too.
Oh yeah.
But so that was happening in both of us without us both knowing, and then God brought us together.
Absolutely.
And so that's the great thing that happens. Years ago, I used to run track, and I would do the hurdles, and I also did the sprints. And one of the things with running that I learned is you have to get your tailwind. Because if you ride that tailwind out right and do it right, you could build momentum.
Okay.
But if you do it wrong, it can slow you down.
It can slow you down.
Right? And that's just like how life is.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so getting it right and in alignment will help you go further quicker
Got
than
it.
if you leave it out of alignment.
Yeah.
So somebody may be out there thinking, well, I'm fine, I'm cool, my friends think I'm cool, all this, but internally you're having a struggle because you can't share what you want to share with other people,
Yes.
right? And so that's kind of like what that tailwind, it can work for you or
Okay,
against you.
that's
So
good.
when you have that like tug of war pull, know that you wouldn't have that struggling against it if it wasn't trying to pull you
Yeah.
to something better,
Yeah.
right? Because
Yeah.
it's always going to be a challenge or something you have to grow to get to the next two
Yeah.
that's for you. So I encourage whoever that's for that just take it one day at a time. Give yourself grace.
Absolutely.
Love yourself in a way that
Yes.
maybe you didn't even know how to love yourself,
Yes.
because
Yes.
you can get through it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I love that. Like you said, that tailwind can work for you or it can work against you. And even when you speak of running, I just remember Mackie, if you're watching, if you ever watch the Wisdom Lounge, I always give her dues. But I just remember when I was really, really heavy into exercising, I got into weight training, became a trainer. And one of the things I wanted to do is to learn how to run. So one of my church members, Kathy Mackey, she was in the military, and so she taught me how to run. She said everybody has a mile in them, and I was like, not me.
Sound like me.
Yeah, she was like everybody. I was like,
I want to do the quick running.
and so she taught me how to breathe and how to get that mile. And then she was like, you're gonna feel like you're gonna hit a wall, but then she said, once you push past that wall, you are good. And it took me a couple weeks, and I would keep running, and I'll hit the wall and I'll stop. And then one day I was like, I can't go no more. I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't do it. And then I was like, I'm gonna keep going. And I just gave myself a marker. I was like, okay, and I used to run on a levee in New Orleans. And so when I run on the levee, I was like, okay, when I get to that next house, the houses that sit on the water, I said, I'm gonna get to this next house, even though I hit the wall. And then once I got past that house, I said, no, I'm gonna go down to the next, the street. I'm gonna go to
challenge
the,
yourself.
So, yeah. And so I would give myself those little small markers, and I made the mile, and then after that, I got to 6 miles. The farthest I ran was 10 miles, and when I did the 10 miles, I was like, "Darn it!" Talking about that plan. Well, I ain't planning to run back 10 miles. I ain't had no car, and I'm 10 miles away from the car.
Now what?
I didn't plan that well, people.
But you did it.
But I did it.
But you did it.
And I was proud, and I was happy about that. And after that, I did like little short runs. But getting past that wall, same as getting past that storm. Planning, it's like you're gonna hit that wall in life.
You are.
But will you give yourself another marker to say, man, I done hit this wall. Am I gonna stay here?
Right.
Or are you gonna give yourself, let me just get to, you don't have to say, let me get to the finish line.
Yeah.
Just say,
Start.
let me get to the next day.
Yep. What's next?
Let me get to the next day. Let me get to the next hour. Let me just get through this moment right here.
I remember.
And watch what happens.
There were times I say, let me get through the night.
Yeah.
Because as
Yeah.
night come, your
Oh, yeah.
brain start
Yes.
running back scripts.
Yes.
And you're like, man. So the nights were hard for me. The nights.
And for me, it's weird. It wasn't so much as the divorce itself, but it was I was so hard on me.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
my thing is, man, how can I be, how long was I wrong?
Right.
Like, how long was this, should I have left sooner?
Right.
It was like so many questions, but all of them was toward me.
Exactly.
Not so much as toward the other person, but
Yeah,
how
no.
can I fail?
Right.
Why did I fail myself?
Right. Where did I miss it? Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's a real question.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because typically, good, bad, indifferent, somewhere in the formula, there's a story you're telling yourself that may not be the actual story.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
And so all of that is good, and promise you, do not beat up yourself. 'Cause
Yes.
when you go through any type of storm, you have the opportunity to get the next version of you. Because sometimes we like staying stuck in old versions.
Yes.
Right? Because
Yes.
that caters to our needs. Now we got to do what?
Yeah.
So those are all valuable lessons. And those are life lessons.
Yes.
Like you can't take a class that's going to tell you all of that, every single thing. Because everybody's life is different.
Yeah, exactly.
And so we encourage you wherever you are on that journey. I would tell myself 1 foot in front of the other. On those days it got harder for me, 1 foot in front of the other. I'm just going to put 1 foot in front of the other. I'm not going to think all the way.
Yeah.
Just let me get to where I get and I'll be prepared. And so we really encourage you in that. And sometimes for women that look like us, we don't get that enough. We get, you got to grind, you got to make it happen.
Yep, you got to keep pushing.
You got to keep going for it.
Yeah.
And so we
don't
just
give
encourage
up.
you.
Don't cry.
Right. No, you cry.
Yeah.
You cry.
No. I'm saying those are the things how
Right.
you may not get it in words, but
Right.
we are taught that in actions.
Totally.
Like we don't normally see people. I know for me, I don't think I've ever seen my mama cry, and my kids probably never.
I never saw my mom cry.
Yeah.
I saw my grandmother cry
Yeah.
when she was
Yeah.
in her last days. But
Yeah.
So we don't see what that looks like.
Exactly.
You got to give yourself grace, because here's the deal: ain't nobody perfect. And if you find a person that tells you they're perfect, run. 'Cause they lying.
Run,
They lying.
Forrest, run.
They're lying.
Yeah, and so those are things that I was kind of brought, not realizing that I learned from her.
Sure.
So my children, that's how I raised them. I remember my son, like to this day, I think now he's getting a little bit more vulnerable, but like he's not gonna break down and cry. He's not gonna talk about anything because that's how I raised him. Shake it off.
Yeah.
Like
But
when he was little, if he hurt himself, I'm like, get up, shake it off.
Right,
You better stop
come
all
on.
that crying.
Right. What you crying
What
for?
you crying
Get up.
for? He was like, I done broke my whole arm, Ma. Shake it off.
But that is so true, because I tried to raise both of them that way, but the youngest one came out and she was just all huggy and clingy, and I'm like, get off of me.
Yeah, that's how Kira was. I'm like, back
Oh,
up.
what the?
Yeah.
But the other one, like, G, no, I'm out there. You're not coming up on me.
And so now I done changed, and I'm like, son, we need to talk about stuff. Well, you don't want to talk about it now. I'm like, Ma, I don't want to talk about it. What you mean, son? You need to talk about it. You need to be vulnerable.
Like, leave me alone.
Ma, I ain't got time for that. I'm like, you need. Now I'm talking about. Now you need counseling, son. Why I need counseling? This is what you raised.
You know, G will tell you. He will put it back on you.
So, but it's just so funny, and so now I remember going back and apologizing to them.
Sure.
And it was doing this, like you said, life after the storm, and it was these clarifying moments that I had to go back, because life after the storm allowed me to see some areas that I needed to correct, even in my children, to say, you know what, I was wrong.
You know, you can mess up, you can do those things, but don't lie to me, because now you playing tricks with me.
Yeah.
And I got to be self-conscious and all of this kind
Now I
of
got to
stuff.
turn into the detective, because I'm going to find a lie.
Which you don't want me to turn into the detective. I'm going to find it. And your consequences are going to be something you probably
be
ain't
great.
never thought of.
Yeah.
What you want.